Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sports Vault Podcast. Jersey Joe Archino back here, and I spent the entire season covering the New York Giants for 104.5, the Team ESPN Radio Albany. I was their Giants beat reporter, so I was on the inside in the locker room at all of Coach Coughlin's press conferences. And as the season kind of winded down and it became more and more apparent that Coach Coughlin most likely would not be at the helm next season, I think everyone was kind of trying to think who's going to be the next natural successor. I don't think for a doubt I ever wavered that I thought it was going to be Bob McAdoo. Even last season, that there was people who I heard from, but I couldn't really talk too much about it, and they were saying that, look, the team, the organization, they love McAdoo. They really think that this is going to be one of their guys, one of their next head coaches, but they just don't think that he's ready yet. Last season, that was the general feeling, was that this guy has head coach potential all over him. This is who they want to be the successor, but they didn't think he was immediately ready. But I guess that time has passed, and now he is ready for that gig, and he has been named the 17th head coach of the New York Giants, and he clearly has a good relationship with a lot of the players on this team. Like I said, I've been in that locker room after every game this season, and I really always got the sense that the players liked the offense, they liked the comfort, they thought that McAdoo was a guy who was very open to listening and kind of getting their feedback into things. And I think that's all you can ask for. Players want to be heard, they want their voices to be heard, they want their opinions to matter, and for the most part, this offense this season had a lot of success. I think where it went wrong is just the Giants as a whole team could never seem to get it in all three phases clicking together. There were games where the offense was at its best and the defense just could not slow the other team down one bit, and then there were other games where the offense was struggling and then the defense was playing very, very well. So they could never really find a game with total continuity with all sides of the football, and that's clearly going to be something Bob McAdoo has to worry about. We know this is an offensive guy, and there are reports so far that Joe Philbin is going to be the guy who's going to bring in to be his offensive coordinator, which you would think, again, is a smooth, natural fit. Both of them have experience being together from their time served in Green Bay, so that's going to be a good fit right there. But I think for the most part, it all starts with the Giants here is on the defensive side of the ball. They dramatically need to improve on the defensive side of the ball. They're ranked dead last in total defense this season. That's a huge, huge thing. And the thing that's kind of interesting is the Giants staff is largely the same with the exception of Tom Coughlin as head coach. It's really McAdoo and then bringing in Joe Philbin as the offensive coordinator. But for the most part, it's largely the same. And it raises a lot of questions because I still don't think anyone has a certain thing they can put their finger on of why this team struggled so much. Was it the personnel? Was it only the defense? Is there more changes that are needed on the coaching staff? Is it just you need a new guy preaching at the top of the helm? What is it? And I don't know if anyone has an exact answer for that. Clearly, I think the defense was the biggest issue. Was some of it on Coughlin? I don't know how much fair that is. Some people would point to when Odell Beckham Jr. had his little spout and that big incident that happened with Josh Norman. The fact that Coughlin let him stay in the game, that would never have happened under the old Coach Coughlin. And look, sometimes you just do need to change directions. Even with Andy Reid kind of didn't have it anymore in Philadelphia, and then you look, he goes to Kansas City and he starts winning again right away. Sometimes just you need to move on to a new project, a new team, and I think maybe that could have been the case with Coughlin, but clearly, he had a lot of faith placed in Ben McAdoo. Again, I always thought all along, I even did a show about this on Sunday before the national championship game in college football, and I thought, look, it was always clear. All the people in the organization internally, the Giants always try to keep it in-house. From everything that I've been told and everyone I've talked to, it always seemed like he was the front runner for this position. And he clearly has a continuity built already with Eli. I know Eli has a great relationship with him, a lot of these offensive players. So I think the Giants are doing what they do best and they're trying to keep stability. And stability means everything in the NFL. If you can keep stability for the most part in your team, from your coaching staff, from your players, that is the best way to do things. Because if there's one thing in the NFL that rushes stability, it's when people aren't patient. People aren't patient, giving coaches enough time to do things. Now, sometimes patience can wear out, and I understand that, but I think the NFL is always a time project. Sometimes it's going to take time. McAdoo is going to make mistakes. He is. It's a very difficult jump going from coordinator to head coach in the National Football League. It doesn't matter how good or how skilled you are, how much hard work you put in. It is a difficult adjustment to make, and he is going to make mistakes. But I do think it was the right guy for the job. I think, again, the Giants are always looking to keep things internal. He was the best solution. Spagnuolo was not the right guy. I know they interviewed him, but I don't think you could take too much from his stints as a head coach in the NFL. The defense was the biggest problem for this football team, so you could never realistically see a team putting the guy in charge of the overall team whose side of the ball struggled the most. McAdoo had shown a lot of promise. The organization really liked him. A lot of people in the organization speak very highly, and from my time covering them, those are a lot of the things I gather, but I'm very excited to get back in that locker room, in those press conferences, and really see and get to talk to Ben McAdoo, because I think he's a guy who has a tremendous amount of potential, and we'll see, because he's got quite the task to turn things around for Big Blue, but I think he's up to the task. But that is going to do it for this podcast of the Sports Vault. Jersey Joe Archino here. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Archino, on Instagram, Jersey_Joe_Archino, and we'll be back next time.